She stares straight at you, unblinking, unashamed. Flowers in her hair, thorns on her neck, blood on her body, a monkey at her side. She does not smile, but she speaks. Not with words, but with presence. This is Frida Kahlo, and her canvas was her mirror, her paintbrush, a scalpel. Her self-portraits, not acts of vanity, but of survival. In a world that tried to define her by her suffering, Frida painted herself into power. And today, we explore how she turned personal pain into universal poetry. How her self-portraits became a declaration. You will not look away. Frida Kahlo was born in 1907 in Coyoacán, Mexico. A child of revolution, a daughter of conflict. She was 6 when polio left her right leg weakened. She walked with a limp, but that was only the beginning. At 18, a horrific bus accident shattered her spine, pelvis, collarbone, ribs, and leg. A metal handrail pierced her abdomen and exited through her pelvis. She was not expected to survive. She did. But her body would never be the same. She would undergo more than 30 surgeries in her lifetime. She would live with chronic pain, infertility, and limited mobility. But what she lost in physical freedom, she found in artistic expression, and in the solitude of recovery, she began to paint. Trapped in a body she could not escape, she turned to the only model always available. Herself. Her first self-portrait was painted while lying in bed, using a special easel built by her mother and a mirror affixed above her. And from that moment on, she would paint herself obsessively. Over 55 self-portraits in total. But these were not conventional likenesses. She painted her physical pain, yes, corsets, scars, and crutches. But more than that, she painted her emotional truth. The heartbreak of betrayal, the weight of identity, the defiance of being seen. She once said, "I paint myself because I am so often alone, and because I am the subject I know best." But in painting herself, she gave voice to the unspoken pain of millions. In 1939, following her divorce from Diego Rivera, Frida painted the Two Fridas. It is one of her largest and most iconic works. 2 versions of Frida sit side by side, holding hands. One wears a European Victorian dress, her heart exposed, veins severed, blood staining her lap. The other wears traditional Tijuana clothing, her heart whole, proudly holding a small portrait of Diego. A storm brews behind them. This is not just about lost love. It is about dual identity. Mexican and European, wife and artist, broken and whole. She stitches herself together with surgical clamps, but also with solidarity. She holds her own hand. It is an image of vulnerability and resilience. Though often associated with the Surrealist movement, Frida rejected the label. "They thought I was a Surrealist," she said, "but I wasn't. I never painted dreams. I painted my own reality." And her reality was filled with symbols. Monkeys, birds, skeletons, butterflies, roots and veins, thorns and tears. Her paintings are autobiographies in code. In Self-Portrait with Thorn Necklace and Hummingbird, she wears a necklace of thorns digging into her neck, drawing blood. A dead hummingbird hangs in the center. Monkeys pull at the necklace. Behind her, jungle foliage, lush, wild, watching. It is an image of sacrifice, of being bound to pain, but also of defiant beauty. She uses Catholic and Aztec symbolism. She paints herself as saint, martyr, goddess, and creature. In every painting, she reclaims her narrative. Frida met Diego Rivera in 1928. He was 21 years her senior, already a legend. She showed him her paintings. He saw genius. They married a year later. Their relationship was passionate, tumultuous, infamous. He cheated. So did she. They divorced, then remarried. And through it all, Frida painted him. In her arms, in her mind, in her dreams. In Diego on My Mind, she paints her face adorned in Tijuana costume, with Diego's image imprinted on her forehead, her thoughts consumed. She loved fiercely and suffered for it. But her art never begs. It declares. Even when she bleeds, she controls the blade. Frida was deeply political, a member of the Mexican Communist Party, a supporter of indigenous culture, a critic of imperialism. She dressed in traditional clothing not as costume, but as pride. She wore her heritage. She painted herself not as the ideal woman, but as a real one. Unibrow unplucked, mustache unhidden. She shattered Western beauty norms with every brushstroke. In a world dominated by male perspectives, she placed herself, and all women, at the center. And she did so without apology. As her health declined, her art intensified. She painted from a wheelchair, from bed, from agony. In the broken column, her body is split open. A cracked ionic column replaces her spine. Nails pierce her skin. Tears fall from her eyes. But she stands tall, alone but upright. In Without Hope, she lies in bed, eyes wide. A wooden structure feeds her through a funnel. Out spills raw meat, fish, and bones. She was literally force-fed during a time of starvation. She documented it all, not to shock, but to witness, to say, this is happening, this is me, and I am still here. Frida Kahlo died in 1954 at the age of 47. Her final diary entry read, "I hope the exit is joyful, and I hope never to return." But she did not disappear. She became myth. In the 1970s, feminists rediscovered her work. In the 1980s, she became a global icon. Today, she appears on murals, t-shirts, dolls, stamps, emojis. Some call it commercialization, others canonization. But beneath the brand is the art. And beneath the art, a woman who refused to be silenced. Frida Kahlo didn't hide her pain. She painted it. She didn't pose. She exposed. She showed us that suffering is not weakness. It is transformation. Each self-portrait is a rebellion, a prayer, a mirror. She once wrote, "I never paint dreams or nightmares. I paint my own reality." And in that reality, she found a strange, terrible beauty. One that still speaks, still burns, still bleeds, and still says, "This is me, and I am enough."